I'm going to claim that my gang stalking has decreased, and obviously that's not the case. By that I mean the street theatre has gone down. So for any TI, most of them would know what a street theatre is where the stalkers actually go out in the street or out in the open, and they put up some crazy acts just to get your attention. But unfortunately, we all know that the actual attack by electronic or whatever technology they're using will go on for a long time. So my health issues are still actually increasing. I've been in this program since 2015. I was put into it by some small company that has got very strong links to a well-known legitimate financial institution. So this looks like it's a bit of a organized corruption. Obviously this small company is not gonna, it can close down at any time. They don't have to take a rep for any criminal or any undercover stuff that they're doing. It all, obviously I wasn't aware at the time that there's such a thing as gang stalking or anything like the fact that you can remotely do something to somebody with technology. Everything seemed to have been going fine for 6 months, up until obviously the 6th month where the guys have got to start attack. Because I didn't know what gang stalking is, I was confused like any other TI for roughly 6 months that I was employed. I didn't know what workplace mobbing is. I didn't know the tactics that we're using. I didn't know that everything was staged. What kept on bugging me was that my colleagues seemed to know what was happening in my personal life, and I just couldn't figure out how they could see what I was doing in the privacy of my own home. And eventually I would have to leave the job. That's the whole part of the whole plan, and I haven't been able to get a job ever since. So all of these tricks are similar to what any other sort of target would go through. They're all following a recipe or some kind of script. It's a whole lot of stuff that they're doing to get the target or the victim confused, and spreading of lies. They get your community involved, all your friends, even sometimes some church members are involved, and can only really make sense of it later once you've gone online and you've had some terminology, and you've read about it, and then you only know about it. So the in-person stalking, that's what's actually gone down. That's what has actually decreased. But for the first 3 years of my targeting, it was really they were on it, big time. It's like when I'm driving, I would just get a car in front of me, and wherever it is that I'm going, that car would be almost going to the same destination without making it obvious. So usually, when somebody wants to show you that they're stalking you, they would follow you. But this time around, it's kind of like they flip the script. So you're following a car that's going close to your home, and then you'd be turning, and this car would actually be in your path throughout your journey. When you go to the shopping mall, you would get people buying the same kind of stuff that you are buying, and clearly that person was there to intimidate you. Or you would go to a mall, there would be like maybe 2 or 3 people that are following you every shop that you're going. You would see the same person for pretty much the whole day. If you're in the mall for 2 hours, that same person would be at every shop that you go to. Or another trick would be that you just bump into somebody that you know, and you can tell this whole thing is staged. And also in the first 3 years, you get a full-on like voice to skull, which is where you start hearing not just, I wouldn't say voices, but you hear a whole lot of simulated sound effects. Maybe somebody would be knocking at your door, or maybe you would hear a car sounding outside, but there's actually nothing there. So all of this stuff has actually decreased for now. It's actually gone down. I don't get followed in person, but unfortunately the electronic harassment goes on, because I think whoever signed me up to this is making money via, I don't know how they're making money, but it's probably via human experimentation. So my health is actually gradually getting worse. I'm getting a lot of issues now, such as my eyesight is, every year it's going down, beginning to not be able to see. My legs are almost damaged. I cannot run. I used to be able to go jogging, maybe jog, not for long, maybe for 10 minutes, but I can't do that anymore. When I try to take a walk, it is actually difficult. There's no more street theatre now, so nobody's bugging me in the street or anything. And also the voice to skull has gone down, I would say 90%. So I don't hear simulated sound effects anymore. But what I do get now is obviously around the clock 24/7 hidden messages that get broadcast to you. I used to be able to know what my thoughts are, or what it is that I'm actually thinking, but now it's impossible for me to know. All my communications are hacked. The phone, I don't think I get phone calls anymore, or the only phone calls that I get is if somebody is trying to tease or trying to just annoy. Obviously the person can see what you're doing, like if you're leaving the door, the phone rings, but it's always the same wrong number. And it's actually very difficult for me to use the toilet now. My toilet functions are a bit compromised. Reaction times are slower. as in my thinking has gotten a lot slower. Can't seem to do basic basic things. I can't seem to be productive. And another big one is the artificial control of time. So the guys who are controlling this whole thing, I seem to wake up at almost the same time every day. It's usually almost 5 or 3 minutes before the hour. It could be 3 minutes to 6 or 3 minutes to 7. The amount of sleeping is also controlled. I'm not able to have like a full at least 5 hours of sleep or 6 hours of uninterrupted sleep. It's usually maybe 3 hours and then it gets interrupted. And then the next day when I'm trying to catch up on the sleep, I'm not able to take short naps. Maybe I can't sleep for more than 20 minutes at a time. The sleep is always interrupted. And another trick that they love is like they make you look at the clock at key moments. It's another annoying thing that they make you do. So for instance, you would always look at the clock at 7 minutes to 7 or 5 minutes to 5, 17 minutes to the 17th hour, things like that. Whenever you're trying to do something, it feels like it's controlled so that it ends at a certain time. It is still electronic harassment, even though the gang stalking or the street theater has gone down. It does feel more and more and more and more like connected to some kind of machine. I can claim that the gang stalking has gone down, but I don't think just following somebody at a shop, buying, picking up the same groceries as he does in the shopping mall, I don't think that was the main thing. The main event was to get somebody to make a profit.